Teresa from Teresa Stamps for Joy.
Well, did you know that Sunday's National Paper Bag Day?
Well, it is. So I thought we'd take advantage of it and do some pretty crafts using paper bags. So won't you join me? Okay, here we go. So this is the project, the paper bag project that we're going to make today. And wait till you see it. It's so adorable. Look at this. You see that? It's a lunch bag with the designer series paper. And then you can fill it with whatever you want and give as a gift. And of course, you'll have to have a card to go with it. And you're going to also decorate the envelope. So let me show you how easy this is to make. So I want to start with showing you the paper that I'll be using. I'm going to be using the Flowers for Every Season Designer Series paper. And oh boy, look at these beautiful patterns. There's even a Christmas pattern in here. So this is a very versatile set. So there's flowers, and then you flip it over because it is double-sided, and look at these beauties. I have been having so much fun playing with this paper. And also, it goes very nicely with the 2020-2022 in color paper. Matches gorgeous, and there's also, it's front and back, the different colors. And of course, I've been using the 2020-2022 in color cardstock. You can tell I've been playing with it. Let me show you what I used. I used the lunch bags. These are just from Walmart. They are self-standing lunch bags. Great value. It's flat bottom. I get 50 bags. It's 5 1/8 by 3 1/8 by 10 5/8 inches. But you could use any size. You don't have to use these. Okay, so let's get started with the bag.
So I'm using the Lovely You stamp set.
So the first thing we want to do with the bag is we want to cut it down to 6 inches tall. So I'm going to bring my paper trimmer in here. And so make sure you cut, this is the opening. Okay, so that's the part you want to cut down. So I'm going to line the bottom of my bag. Let's see how I'm going to show you here. Okay, so the bottom of my bag with the 6 inch, at the 6 inch mark. And I'm going to cut off this piece right here. So this is the top, right? It's an opening, okay? Put this aside, and I'm left with this. So what you're going to do is I have some designer series paper that I've already cut, and I cut it down to 6 by 5. And then what you'll do is you'll take your adhesive, and I'm going to go ahead and use my silicone mat, okay? So what I'm gonna do is, and I'm bringing my silicone mat because, as I said, I don't want the glue to go onto my paper, but what I want to do is get my adhesive as close to the end as possible so that it doesn't come up. So I'm going to just go down, and you'll see how it's getting on the silicone mat, but it's not going to stick. It'll come right off, see? So this thing is definitely worth the investment.
You'll see that the bottom is here, and you're going to fold it over and crease it down using your bone folder.
So that you'll have, it'll be straight on both sides. Then you'll notice there's the back that has like the seam. You're gonna wanna put that on the back side because you don't want it to show in the front. Now we can take our designer series paper and we're gonna adhere this to the front of the paper bag. And here's my 6 by 6 paper. And as I said, we're gonna cut it 5 by 6. And what I want you to do is this little 1-inch piece, I want you to save that because we're gonna use that for the envelope. We don't wanna throw that out. Okay, so we're gonna take our adhesive and do the same thing to the back. And just lay it down. Okay, and here's your back. What I want you to do is we've also cut another piece, and this is 4 by 5, and I scored it at 1. And you're gonna fold that over. And the reason why I'm doing this is, let me show you this one again, is I have this little flap that is a 3-inch flap that folds over the top so that it closes the bag. And in order to do that, I would need a piece of designer series paper that measures 5 by 9. But since I don't have, this paper only comes in 6 by 6, I took another piece and I cut it at 4 by 5 and left myself an inch so that I can actually adhere it to the back, and then I get the fold in the front. Okay, then what you're gonna do is, for this piece, what I would suggest is to use a little stronger adhesive because that's gonna be the opening and it's gonna open and close and you don't want it to come apart. So I would go ahead and use tear and tape and add a strip to the right at the score line, and then one right at the edge here. Okay, this way, I think it's going to give it a little more stability. Then I'm going to take your pick tool, and I'm going to take off the backing of the tear and tape paper. Okay. All right, and I'm going to add that to the back. I just want to make sure that this is the back. And align this up. Actually, I think what's easiest is if you lay the paper down and then put your bag up to the score line and match it up. So here's my bag. Okay. It opens up, has this. Now we're going to do a little decoration and tell you that this layer is 4 by 2.5. This layer is 3 3/4 by 2 1/4, and then I'll have the white where I'm going to stamp, and that's 3 1/2 by 2. Lovely You. Oh, I love the writing on this. It's such a pretty stamp. And this also comes, this is a bundle in the catalog, the new catalog, and it comes with pick a label punch, and you can, it'll cut like 6 different sizes. So we'll do a video on that later on. Okay, and I'm going to use Shaded Spruce. Now, this is our new ink color is Just Jade, but I haven't gotten my ink pads yet. And the thing I love about Stampin' Up! Is the coordination of products. This one is Shaded Spruce, but I think it matches very nicely with this, and I'm going to go ahead and use it. So I'm going to ink up my stamp. Okay, and just go straight down, don't rock. Okay, and we'll close this. And then I'm going to use, again, what's in here is Bumblebee, Magenta Madness, and Just Jade. But since I don't have those ink pads yet, I'm going to go ahead and use what I have. And this is So Saffron. And I'm going to take this. I'm going to just stamp around in the corners and just fill in all the white space. Oh, I love the way that looks. How pretty is that? How does that look? All right, then what I want to do is I have these embellishments. This is the 2020-22 in color enamel dots. These are really gorgeous, and they're flat, so they're just beautiful. They're great for cards so that it doesn't add too much bulk. I want to show you what I did. This is a tip that I have. When you get the embellishments, there is a piece and you can pull this out this way, but I find that to be annoying. Every time I want to use it, I have to open it, take it out, and then put it back in. So what I do is I take my paper snips and I just cut along the closing of the packaging, and then each time I want to use it, I just pull them out sideways, and then, I don't know, I just find that easier. All right, so let's look at this and see what colors I'd want to add. And I think what I want to do is, I think I want to add the Just Jade. So I'm going to go ahead and just add some embellishments here. I'm just doing it anyway. I'm just adding 3. Okay, that's adorable. And then we can take this and we can adhere it to our layers here. So let's go ahead and adhere this to, I always say stamp first, then glue. So I want to add this to the Magenta Madness layer. Then I'm going to adhere this grouping to the Just Jade. All right, now I'm going to add this to the front of my bag. So what you want to do is you kind of want to go halfway. I kind of put my finger where I'm going to adhere, because you don't want glue on the whole thing. We only want it on the top piece. So I'm going to add the glue to the top, and then I will add it to the front. Okay, so you see there's no glue here. Okay, but wait. Of course, every cute little project needs a little cute bow. So I am going to add, this is the gingham ribbon in Bumblebee. Oh, it's so nice. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that. You see that? It's so pretty. It's almost got a little sheen to it. It's very beautiful. All right, so I'm going to take my mini glue dots, and I'm going to take a glue dot, and I'm going to add it to the back of my ribbon. You could do it that way, or what you can do, sometimes what I'll do is I'll just take my bow, just add it and squeeze down and lift, and the glue dot will adhere to the back of the ribbon. And then, oh, I should have added this. Oh, I didn't pay attention. I'm going to move this little enamel dot back because I'm going to add the ribbon right in the corner there. I'll go back and use another one. All right, and I'll add that. I think I'll add that here. There you go. Perfect. All right, let me get this out of the way. All right, so that's your bag. How cute is that? Opens up this way, you're gonna fill it up and you'll give it as a gift. That's beautiful. And this was the card that I designed. And so I'm gonna use coordinating paper. So I'm doing my base in Just Jade, okay? And Magenta Madness and Bumblebee. All right, so the card is fairly easy. What you'll do, let's see, let me get my measurements here so I can tell you. Okay, so the base is 5.5 by 8.5, and I scored at 4 1/4. Fold it over, and then I have a layer of cardstock, which is 3.5 by 4.5, and a layer of designer series paper, which is 3 1/4 by 4. So we're going to take the designer series paper and we're going to layer it onto the cardstock. Oh, isn't that pretty? Look at that pop. Okay, so I've layered that on, and then what I did was I took a piece of let's see, another piece of the designer series paper, and this is cut at 3.5 by 1. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to lay it, I'm going to kind of center it on here. Okay. And then I'm going to take a piece of Bumblebee, and I'm going to take my tailored tag punch, and I'm going to punch a piece out, and then I'm going to take a 1.5 inch punch, circle punch, and I am going to punch out a circle. Then I'm going to take my stamp Smile and go back to my shaded spruce, or if you have the Just Jade in color, that would be wonderful to use that. Go back to my scrap paper. And I am going to stamp Perfect. And we're also going to stamp those leaves. But for this, I want to stamp off a little. I don't want it as dark. So you're going to stamp off and then stamp on here. So it's a little lighter. Let's stamp the inside of the card. I'm just going to put this aside. Okay, and on the inside of the card, I want my So Saffron, and I'm going to add, okay, so you can see the leaves to the bottom, and then I also like to add it to the top, okay, like that. And then we're going to take our shaded spruce, and we're going to use You're My Person. Okay. Ink it up. Make sure there's no excess. And okay, so the stamping is done. Move these out of the way. And now let's put the card together. So I'm going to start with the inside. Doesn't really matter, but let's see. Okay, the inside of the card. And we're going to add the layered pieces to the front. And you'll want to center it best you can to the front. And then we'll add the smile. So what I did here on the circle is I'm going to add some dimensionals just so that it pops it up a little bit. Take your pick tool and take off the backing. I will add it to the tailored tag that I cut. Okay, and then, let's see, does that look good? And then I'll just add some glue to the back of the tailored tag. Add that to the front of the card. And there's your card. Okay. Now we have the envelope. So what I want you to do is, remember I said there was that 1-inch piece that we cut from the designer series paper. Now, I also have a 1-inch piece from the other paper. So I would like decide what do you want your envelope to have the flower, or do you want it to have just the plain like this? I don't know. I'm thinking this one. So I'm going to add some glue, and I'll take my silicone mat out again, which, here we go. I'll take my silicone mat, and I'll just add some glue. And this is 6 inches by 1. And I'm going to, okay, this is the envelope. I'm going to take the flap, and I'm going to add, kind of center that along the back. Now what you could also do is cut a 2.5 by 6, and you can cover the entire flap, which looks absolutely gorgeous. But in this case, I just didn't want to waste that 1-inch piece of beautiful paper, so I decided to add that to the back of the envelope flap. And you're just going to use the envelope as your guide and cut off the excess designer series paper. And you have a beautiful matching envelope. How adorable is that? Now, here's the paper bag. Here's the envelope and the card. If you like this project and you'd like to make it and you need any supplies, feel free to head on over to my store at teresastampsforjoy.stampinup.net, and any of the products that I used in this video today are available for purchase on my online store. The punches, the inks, the glues, whatever you need, the blocks. If you have any questions and you'd like more information, please feel free to email me at teresastampsforjoy@gmail.com. Thank you so much, and I hope you have as much fun as I did making this project. Take care. Bye.
The measurements will be at the bottom of the video. Thanks again.